The Wiesenthal Center is involved in promoting both tolerance and rooting out anti-Semitism. In what ways do you address Islamic anti-Semitism?
Well, we've tried to address Islamic anti-Semitism by drawing a straight line to moderates all over the world, which has brought me to some interesting places like Jakarta, like, believe it or not, Khartoum, and pretty much anywhere I can find, moderate Muslim leaders, not necessarily political, including religious, who get it. The people who get it and have the same shared view, not necessarily people who are going to contribute to the Jewish appeal, but have the same worldview that if we're getting, we're supposed to be the children of Abraham, a joint blessing, etc., for each other. Again, we need to recruit as many people to the cause for them to understand. I think that among Muslims especially, there is an incredible lack of basic understanding of Judaism. Now, even though in the Quran, our forefathers and prophets are mentioned all over the place, and we are mentioned as the people of the book, it's unbelievable how little Muslims really know about our values. And one of the ways of tearing down stereotypes is trying to replace the negative stereotypes with the truth. One small thing that came out of 9/11 for us, not been a great success so far, but we started a little website called askmusa, MUSA.org.
What is that?
It's in 5 languages. It's Judaism 101 for Muslims. Because how many times can you go around telling people, no, that's not us? Or when you meet a religious imam who looks at you and says, Jews pray? Or you're on a television program in the world's largest Muslim country and they ask you in all seriousness, so tell us, what does the Torah say about the Quran? So we really, part of the multifaceted game plan here is we have to replace stereotypes with reality. You can only do that today through the internet and technologies. And at the same time, if we want to talk more specifically about the Israel-Palestinian issue, we're launching a campaign sort of echoing the original 6 words mentioned by Prime Minister Netanyahu, but really goes to the core of the conflict. It's about time that Arab leaders around the world acknowledge Israel is a Jewish state. If they can't utter the words Jewish state, we're never going to have peace. And so long as they continue, let's say the PA, to teach their children, there was no Solomon's temple, Rachel's tomb was really a mosque, the Jews came from anywhere but here. As long as they teach their kids to look at a young Israeli soldier as the way a young Polish person would look at a Nazi soldier in 1940 or 41, there's no hope for peace. So the implications in terms of all of these issues from the point of view of the Jewish world, we have to first of all know who we are. We have to be able to share our values with anyone who's ready to listen and defend ourselves against people who don't like what they hear.
What do you think about reform rabbis or leftist rabbis who are in favor of eliminating Israel as a Jewish state, just making it a democratic state of all its citizens? What do you think, as rabbis, their obligation is?
Well, first of all, Israel is a democracy, and what Israel is and will be decided upon with close to 7 million citizens it currently has. The majority of Israelis today, unfortunately, are not yet religious. It's a secular state. And I would say that 99% of Israelis want it to be a Jewish one. So for individuals, whatever their ilk may be, religious or otherwise, political or spiritual, with all kinds of eights about what Israel should and should not be, my suggestion is go to Israel, become a citizen. You want to change the form of government that they have, go ahead and start your own party, and good luck to you. The Jewish people have been around for 3,000 years, and the connection between the Jewish people and Eretz Yisrael was there, will always be there. How it plays out, the exact nature of the government, etc., who knows? But I can tell you one thing. It will not be decided upon by some people who choose not to live in Israel and who are mistaken in simply feeling that the way in which Israelis will have peace is by entrusting their safety and their future to people who today are their enemies. And for even those among them, most of them, thank God, 20% of the Israeli population is Arab, they don't want to change their nationality. They're perfectly happy to have the freedoms of an Israeli. Maybe they'd like to have a country that's majority Arab, but you go ahead and ask them if they would like to switch places today and, let's say, go to Aleppo or Damascus or Tripoli, Libya, or Cairo, for that matter, whether any of them, and they have many they have cousins there. They're not looking to leave. So I think that for people who are ready to be armchair quarterbacks, telling Israelis what they should do about how to ultimately achieve peace with their neighbors is the height of chutzpah. I put myself in the same boat. I'm not yet an Israeli. I don't pay taxes there. And therefore, whatever the governments decide, whether they're left, right, or center-left, I support a strong Israel. There's nothing wrong with criticizing a particular act here and there, but the notion of telling people from thousands of miles away so that they can feel more comfortable about themselves, we want you to give up your sovereignty, your dream of a future. I think that's the height of chutzpah. One last point, historically, is that, of course, in terms of Reform Judaism going back to the 19th century, Zionism was never, in its formative years, unfortunately, a part of their worldview. That really awoke as a result of what happened in June 67. And I would suggest to those rabbis to look back to the events of May and June 1967, because at that time, the Arab nations led by Nasser and Assad's father, and they wanted to throw every Jew in Israel into the sea. They wanted to wipe Israel off the face of the map. That reality, not theory, but experiencing that reality of having a sense of helplessness because nobody stepped forward. The UN didn't step forward. No, the U.S., it was Israel against 7 nations. Okay? When you experience that, it doesn't make a difference what your brand of Judaism is. Once you experience it, that you change your mindset. And here we are, it's 40 years later, and you have a new generation of people who have no clue, didn't experience it, and are saying, gee, wouldn't it be great if we can just have a kumbaya moment in the Middle East?
Do you believe the creation of a Palestinian state would quell that desire on the Arab part to eradicate the Jewish state?
I think that, first of all, most Arabs in the Middle East don't care about Israel, and they don't care about the Palestinians. They have their own sorrows they have to deal with. But to the basic question, I think the answer is utter 6 words. Israel has the right to be a Jewish state. When you utter those words in Arabic to your children and at the meetings of the Arab League, then the whole idea of a Palestinian state alongside a Jewish state is going to gain traction and can bring peace. If you're not ready to say it, I don't think that Israelis are going to sign on the dotted line. I don't think that President Obama should be pushing them. And I think he's beginning to understand it by virtue of Abbas's push to the United Nations. But 6 words can change the world. We'll be listening very carefully. And by the way, don't do it on the Zakaria show on CNN or Piers Morgan or even on YouTube. Go to your own people, say it in Arabic, and let memory send us the translation. When that happens, then they should sit down and talk tachlis.